Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chantal. For those of you that maybe are joining us for the first time, I want to talk about a topic a lot of us usually don't have language for. It's something that has to do with our emotional slash spiritual slash cognitive states. I want to talk about the frustration that often comes with feeling like you are living a life that doesn't align with what deep down on the inside of you believe that you are called to do, the life that you feel you are called to live. The truth is that reality is quite boring. Like, reality is quite underwhelming. Like, daily life, daily routine as we know it, there's nothing exciting about it. And I actually think that that's part of the reason why social media has the appeal that it has, is because it allows us to kind of escape our realities, even if it's just momentarily. It shows us realities that are bigger than us. It shows us realities that are bigger than the lives that we currently live. And when we are able to have the opportunity to have moments in our own lives that express a bigger reality than the life we actually live on a day to day, then we want to capture those moments and we want to share those moments, the highlights of our lives, because those are the moments that we take pride in, because they inspire us, they inspire others, they make us believe that something about life is worth living. I really do believe that that's part of the big appeal about social media. And even when you can't, display those moments in your own life, something in you gets excited, something in you gets triggered when you go online and you are able to see that in others. You're able to see others that are, doing certain things, taking on certain things, like living a certain life that is at the level that maybe you aspire to, a life that you feel like you may even be called to live. Like, you may see some things that make you feel like this is where I'm going. It gives you a picture, an image of the dream that you may have. So seeing it in someone else makes you believe that it could be a reality for you. Unfortunately, this is also the same thing that causes a negative impact on our mental health, because when you see enough of that stuff often enough, you start to feel like almost like despondent, like nothing about your life tells you that you are gonna get to that place. So when you see that often enough, you start to feel like maybe it's you, like others can achieve it, others can live it, but it's just not true for you. You will never get to that place, so all you can do is live vicariously through them. So then that's where the anxiety and the depression can be triggered, where you feel like you are just never going to get to that place, you are just never going to get to live that life, and you just have to be a spectator that watch other people live it. Like, I want to start by just like letting you know that you're not the only one. There are so many of us that get into this place where it almost feels like an existential crisis, where you're just like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we here actually? There's nothing exciting about life. There's nothing to it. Like, on the inside of me, I have this burden where I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something more. I'm supposed to be doing bigger things. But my reality on the outside doesn't reflect the reality I have on the inside of me. The dreams I have, like, those things feel more like burdens than things that actually inspire you to get up and run. Because you don't know where you'd be running to. You don't know where you'd even be going. You don't know where to begin. Some of you, this particular burden I'm speaking about might come in the form of a dream, like a desire that you have to do or accomplish a certain particular thing, because you feel like it's in alignment with who you are. You might not even have a reason for why you feel like you're supposed to be doing it, but you just know, like, in your heart, like, that's what you were born to do. Some of you, it may come in the form of people around you that may have told you, whether it's over time, whether it's just been one time where you have received a word, from people that are just like, no, like, there's something special about you. There's something to this particular talent that you have, or there's something to the particular personality that you have. There's just something to you where they feel like you should be doing big things. They feel like you are gonna do big things, and sometimes it will be the people around you that see it first before you do. Some of you, it might come in the forms of literal dreams. Like, you dream about this at night, where you see yourself doing big things that you don't even know how you would get there. Maybe you've had dreams and that those dreams, they came from God. Like, they were prophetic dreams that were revealing to you the future that you'll have. But those dreams, unfortunately, don't reflect what your life currently looks like, and you can't reconcile this dream because it's so big and the life that you live currently. So instead of encourage you and motivate you and fire you up for the life that you are called to live, it just puts you in a place where you become depressed because you don't know how you'd go about accomplishing it. You don't know where you'd even begin trying to achieve it, or maybe you've even tried, like you've tried maybe doing some of the things that would put you in a position where you can make that dream come true, but it didn't materialize, or it didn't go that way, or you didn't get the feedback that you were hoping for. Let's just say maybe you have a dream of being a singer or presenter. Like, maybe you've gone to auditions, but the feedback that you got back was like, nah fam, like you don't got it like that. Like, I know you're passionate about this thing, but you actually don't have what it takes, or you have tried, like you've applied for the job, or you've gone to the interviews, you've done the things that you feel like you need to do to get you to the place where you need to go, but it's just it's not lining up in the way that you hope. Or you need money, like maybe this is a dream that requires money, like you need funds to get this project or whatever going. Like, maybe it's a creative idea, so you don't have the funds to put it in place, and so that can be the thing that discourages you. Like, yeah, I have this dream and I know the steps I'm supposed to take to get me there, but it's not realistic for someone like me, maybe like that's the chat, that it just feels like it's not gonna happen for someone like you. Like, but on the inside of you, there's this thing that's telling you that no man, like there's something there, there's something in you that is waiting to come out. And when it does, on that day, like you know that you are gonna take off and you are gonna live a life that is higher than the one that you are living currently. So I want to start by affirming that's a real thing. You're not making it up, you're not imagining it, you're not being crazy, you're not being delusional. And I mean, this happens to me all the time, right? Like, because I struggle with these feelings myself. I find myself in this place where I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, I was almost like questioning why I was alive, and I'd almost just be like, okay, like, yo, can we just cut the cameras? Like, I can't wait. Like, can Jesus just come back? Like, that used to be my chat. Like, yo, can Jesus just come back, guys? Because like, ubuya nini? Because what are we doing? Because daily life would be this constant reminder that life is not what I want it to be, what I wish it to be. Like, so for me, I follow a lot of people that speak into that place on the inside of me. They speak into that dream, or those parts of me that feel like there's more to me. And when I see that content online, as soon as I log off, I'm slapped in the face with the reality that I still have dishes that I need to get up and wash. I still have a job that I need to get up and go to in the morning. I need to plan what I'm eating tonight, and daily life ends up being this thing that adds an extra weight on your shoulders. Not only does the thing that I'm talking about become a burden, but then the reality of daily life adds an extra burden, because it's the constant reminder of the fact that you are not living the life that you feel like you are called to live. So yeah, I want you to know that if you have that thing on the inside of you, the chances are you really do have something that you are called to do. Like, that feeling is not there for nothing. If you struggle with that feeling speaks to the tension that does exist between your promised land and your Egypt, the place where you are currently. It just speaks to that tension where there is a place that has been prepared for you, that is in your future, that you don't know, that is the opposite of where you are currently, right? So, there are many of us that are living a life like the children of Israel before they were called out of Egypt. There are many of us that still feel like we have shackles on our feet that aren't allowing us to stretch out in the way that you feel like you should be stretching out. Like, you almost want to just be like, ish, just let me fly. Like, I need to fly, but there's bills, there are responsibilities, there are commitments that keep us from running into the life and into the future that you feel like is out there for you. So first of all, like, I wanna console you, man, that, like, I know it's hard. It's a really hard inner conflict battle, that thing, and it can even lead to depression, if you don't know how to make sense of it, you don't know how to manage it. It can be the thing that causes you to just become so underwhelmed with life that you really get depressed, because you're just like, I don't see how I could ever be that person. I don't see how I could ever live that life. So I just feel like it would be better if I died. Why do I have this burden on my shoulders to want more than what I am able to have? You know, that I should want more, that I should be more. I wish it wasn't there, because then I could be grateful, you know, for the things that are in front of me, you know, because it takes away from your ability to almost quote unquote enjoy life as it is, because you're so discontented and disillusioned by it. It can cause depression because you feel like you'll never experience joy until you get to that place. And because you feel like you won't get to that place, it's kind of like you just feel like you'll be depressed forever. And I think we don't talk enough about this in our culture. We live in this culture that hypes us up, like, yeah, you know, hey, like goals, you know, we talk about our goals, we talk about our dreams. You get online, all you see is highlights. You know, you get online and everybody's just capturing like their best moments. And as much as that inspires us, like, it's a double-edged sword in the sense that it's also the thing that reminds you that this was a moment. This is not your life, you know. It's just a moment, whether it's you or it's someone else. Like, we don't talk enough about this place between the dream or the prophecy that comes out and the point of its fulfillment. You know, when we think about the story of David, even when pastors preach, like, they'll talk about like how David was the shepherd boy, you know, and then Samuel comes into the chat and he prophesies over him and anoints him as a king. And then we fast forward, we're very quick to like fast forward to the part where he defeats Goliath. You know, we never really look at the period between the place where he's anointed and what happens in between that before the day that he actually defeats Goliath, you know. And David was a shepherd boy, you know, and that meant that all he did was shepherd sheep, you know. He had a flock of sheep that he was shepherding on a daily basis. And even on the day that Samuel comes looking for him, David is in the fields shepherding these sheep. And I can imagine that maybe David was someone that also felt like something was coming, like his life wasn't always going to be the way that it is. I'd like to believe that, much like Joseph, even David had a dream, you know, while he was out in the fields chilling, you know, when the sheep were going on eating, like, and he was just, you know, staring into the sunset or whatever. I would imagine that he would sit there and dream about his own future, you know. So we don't talk enough about like the fact that even at the time that he's anointed, he is called from his daily routine. They fetch him from the fields where he's shepherding sheep. So nothing about his life was interesting. And even after he's anointed, even after this dream is birthed and this big future is declared to him, he still wakes up the next morning and goes back to shepherding flock. You know what I mean? He still goes back the following day to being the shepherd that he was the day before. Nothing has particularly changed, you know? So I want to speak to someone that's like, yeah, I'm in that place. You know, I'm in the place in between conceiving a dream on the inside of me and waiting for it to come to pass and waiting for it to be fulfilled. You know, I don't know what to do about the fact that I'm excited about my tomorrow, but that right now I have to get up and go to the field and go feed some sheep. That there's nothing about that particularly tells you that tomorrow there'll be a Goliath that you will defeat and conquer. And so the reason why I'm talking about this is that I want to give you advice on how to be content during that season while you are David and you are out in the field the day after you have been given a dream, you know, or weeks after, months after, years after you've been given a dream and you're still just a shepherd boy. But now the difference is that you're a shepherd boy that has a dream, you know, and it can be a very difficult weight to bear, to know that you have a dream and to not know how it's going to come to pass, to not know when it's going to come to pass, but you know that it's going to happen for you. Especially if you're someone that lives by faith, like you believe that this was a dream that came from God and you know that it will come to pass, but you don't know how or when, you know. You don't have the things you need that in your logical mind you feel like you would need for it to come to pass. There is a way that we are able to manage ourselves, manage our emotions, manage our disillusionment, manage our boredom with reality, up until we get to that place. And so that's what I want to talk about. And I'll do a couple of videos around this topic because I'm realizing one video is not going to be enough to like really get into it, But basically, this is a series called Application of Faith. That faith without works is dead, because it is, It's not enough to have a dream and believe that it will come to pass, but then not execute the things that will facilitate in that dream coming to fruition. Because even in the story of David at the time didn't know that him being a shepherd boy had anything to do with the Goliath that he was meant to defeat, which was his divine appointment with his destiny, right? Him encountering Goliath was the thing that would change his life forever. That's where his reputation blew up. That in our day and age, we would call that like the day where he started to trend, and he blew up and started getting all these followers, maybe started making money from his social media, but you need to be someone that has a work ethic prior to that, right? Because David had a work ethic. David didn't say, oh, like now I have a dream, so I'm just going to relax and wait for the dream to come to me. He still got up faithfully the next day and continued to do the thing that was entrusted to him at the time. So if you're like, you have a job that you don't particularly like, it adds to this discontentment that I'm speaking about. You still have a responsibility to wake up and go and do that job, and not only do it, but do it well in the meantime. Because it's the thing that even though right now you don't see the connection, it's leading up to your tomorrow, So we really need to do a better job of stewarding the things that are placed in our care right now. Because if you can be faithful with a little, you can be trusted with much tomorrow. That's a biblical principle, right? So there are biblical principles that apply to the process of the dream coming into fruition. If David had stopped going to the fields the following day and just, sat on the couch on some, I'm a king now, I've been ordained, I've been anointed by Samuel, so you guys should come to serve me. He had brothers, right, that weren't chosen. He could be on some high horse, like on some, I'm the chosen one, so you guys should go to the fields and shepherd the flock. I'm just going to sit here and wait for my bus, so that I don't miss my bus. And so what I want to say to you is, a lot of the time your bus is going to find you out in the field doing the thing that you've been doing all along. You know what I'm saying? And even though that thing is not particularly exciting, and it's the thing that you're going to have to do today, tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, if that's what's been entrusted to you at the time that the dream is conceived, you have a responsibility to continue to do that thing faithfully up until that season ends, right? You don't get to just give up on a season before that season comes to an end on its own, right? Unless, of course, you have a word from God that you're supposed to quit your job or quit whatever it is that you're doing currently, drop out of your degree, whatever. But up until you know for a fact that you're supposed to quit what you are doing currently to come into a new season, you can't just abandon ship. That's not how it works, right? So David continued to shepherd the flock, and he was actually like honing his skill, which was learning how to shoot well. And by shooting, I'm talking about the stone. If you think about it, the mundane activity, the daily routine that he was doing all along, that activity that was going to be used to propel him into his future was within the routine. Him learning how to throw a sling well was something that he learned how to do while he was out in the field. David wouldn't know how to throw a sling well if he was at home chilling on the couch. The only reason why he could throw the sling as well as he did by the time he encountered Goliath was because this was something he had been doing while he was out in the field shepherding the sheep. Sometimes you may not recognize that the thing that is going to be used to bring you into your destiny is wrapped up in a mundane, unexciting, uninteresting activity. So for an example, let's say you're an intern, you work for a company somewhere, and maybe all you do is just do admin for them. You just pack their files away, right? And the dream that you have and the tomorrow that you are called to is going to involve you maybe having to manage people, right? Maybe you'll have a business, right? And you are going to manage lots and lots of people in that company. You may not realize that right now, in packing away files, and interacting with people, your interaction with people is the thing that's going to be used to make sure that you run a business successfully tomorrow. So you are actually unknowingly honing a skill in people skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills, public relation skills. That's going to be the thing that makes you stand out tomorrow in the business that you run, right? So right now, it doesn't seem like there's a connection between you just packing files and the business idea that you have that you feel like is going to be successful in the future. You might not see how those two things go together, but right now you are actually learning the discipline of getting to work on time, number one, of learning how to be professional, in a workplace environment, that there's a certain decorum that you must have in the workplace that you wouldn't otherwise know to have if you weren't in that environment, right? And then lastly, you learn how to manage people, learn how to manage people's emotions. You learn how to read a room, you learn how to work a room because you are interacting with people. And that's the thing that you will need tomorrow to run a successful business of your own. So, I want to encourage somebody that don't despise your small beginnings. Don't despise this place that you feel like has you hidden, has you doing things that are beneath you, that you feel like are not connected to your future, right? Because you're supposed to be someone important in the future. You feel like you shouldn't have to do these smaller nyana tasks today. You shouldn't have to be an ice boy for someone today. No, actually, if you have a big dream, a lot of the time, you're going to have to serve under someone. You're going to have to be someone's ice boy so that tomorrow you know how to manage other people because you were once under someone. So you got to learn what it looks like to be in charge, right? Proximity, it's association, right? A lot of the time, you need to be close to the thing that you will be tomorrow. And being close to the thing just means you get to be there as an observer. You just get to be there as a student, as a learner that soaks in the information that you will need for your own plan tomorrow, that you will need for your own business tomorrow, that you will need to be successful tomorrow. So don't despise the small things, the small opportunities that God brings you in your today, just because you know that you have a bigger tomorrow. I want to encourage you that God will use all the things that you feel like you might not understand why you have to do them today. All those things are going to be used to make you successful in the thing that you are being called to do tomorrow. If David had not been in the field consistently and faithfully, even after he was anointed as king, even after he was given the dream, he would not have been able to defeat Goliath, which would have caused him to miss his bus on the day where he was actually supposed to take the bus. And even the day that he defeats Goliath, David is still going about his regular business, and then he runs into Goliath. So even that dream that you're actually working towards, you are gonna stumble into it, you're gonna run into it, but you have to be outside, you have to be found in the field. You can't be found home sitting on your couch. And I think this is the challenge that our generation also has, is that we don't understand that you actually have to put in the work. You have to put in the discipline, you have to put in the commitment to ensure that you get to the place where you like microwave life, instant noodles doesn't work when you have a big dream. And if you actually think about it, for the people that we have seen, right, that have had very big come-ups that were almost overnight, those people usually have very big downfall moments. Like everything that they got overnight is almost stripped from them overnight because they never got to be in preparation. So that's the danger about getting a big platform when you weren't in a process of preparation before. It's dangerous to have things happen instantly for you. So even if you have the opportunity to have them happen instantly, I would advise that you don't take it. Obviously, that's against everything that we believe, everything that we are taught. We're taught that we're supposed to be hustlers. We're supposed to be people that paper chase. We're supposed to want instant success without putting in patience and hard work and sweat and tears. But I actually wanna reassure someone that there's a reason why you have to start small. It benefits you to develop the character that you will need tomorrow to sustain your blessing once you have it. Because it doesn't help to gain a blessing overnight that you will then lose quickly. Because then it'll be like what was the point if you're gonna lose it? And it's gonna be like you never had it. It's like these people that win lotto. Like I blew at the show. It's literally, that's what happens. If you are someone who once a David story without having to go back to the field, the likelihood that you are going to find yourself in an I blew it situation is so much higher because you never got to prepare. The people on I blew it, they came into large sums of money without having to work for it, without having to even understand, financial discipline, without having to understand what it means to save money, what it means to have to budget, what it means to have financial literacy. They just stumbled into some money and they didn't have the character to be able to hold that blessing, that level of blessing. So what they do is that they run through that blessing quickly, and before they know it, they find themselves with nothing in their hands, back in the place where they started, as if that thing never happened. Can you imagine, like, your life changing overnight, and then a year later or 5 years later, it's just gone, like it was never there? Like, you never got to taste and see that level of abundance, that level of blessing. It's just gone, stripped from you, like it was never there. That's crazy. Like, personally, I would rather remain poor than to experience something like that and then go back to life as I knew it then. Like, I imagine that having it and then losing it all is more traumatic than never having had it, And that's why it's actually in our best interest that God puts us in these places where you have to work hard for the things that you want. So it's not that this dream that you have is not valid. It's not that this dream that you have isn't even God-given, But you are going to have to wait. You are going to have to develop patience. You're going to have to develop discipline. You're going to have to develop character so that you don't embarrass yourself and embarrass God tomorrow. So that you are able to sustain and maintain that dream, that blessing when it comes. Right? Because also the thing about dreams that we often don't realize is that they are not only supposed to benefit you, they're supposed to benefit the people around you, right? They're not only supposed to set you free. Your financial freedom is not just for you. It's supposed to assist in setting others free around you. So then what was the point if you come into financial freedom just to mismanage it? So then you stay someone that is still in debt even though you should be financially free. And then you're not able to assist the people around you. Do you see like how it works? So usually, if God has called you to be a David in an area, the likelihood is that that Goliath that you must defeat will be a Goliath that you are defeating for a whole nation or a whole community or a whole country or a whole tribe of people, right? Whatever the case is, depending on the amount of territory he's given you. But you need to be faithful with the small territory. You need to be faithful with the field if you are going to be given the territory to defeat the Goliath on behalf of a nation. Goliath was trusted by his own nation as that guy. He was that guy in his nation. So David would not be able to defeat Goliath on behalf of a nation if he was not faithful in the field he was given at the time to have dominion over. You will not have dominion over a Goliath when you have not learned how to steward the field that you've been given currently. So I want to console you, that yes, like it sucks. Yes, everyday life sucks. It's boring, it's uninteresting, it's repetitive, it's routine, it's mundane. Like, yes, all those things are true, but the things that you are actually looking for, the things that you are working towards, the places that you want to go and believe that you are going, those places, you are working towards them while you are in this daily routine. The tomorrow that's calling you is in the today that you have in front of you. So be faithful in what's in front of you, guys. And also, if you have a specific dream and you know that it's going to require certain things for you to achieve it, then I recommend like learning a skill in the meantime. That could be a form of being a shepherd boy in the field, is taking up a course to do something that will assist you in making sure that you are successful in doing the thing tomorrow. It doesn't mean that the field that you must shepherd is literal. The field could be going online and reading about people that have been successful in the thing that you believe you are being called to do. It might mean looking up a mentor that can assist you in learning the skills you must have in the thing that you want to do. It might mean doing research, reading up on that topic. Whatever it is that you feel like you're being called to do, you need to put in like a certain level of work. You need to plant that kind of seed. That is seed, actually. And that goes back to like faith without works is dead. So a way that you plant the seed right now in your today, and then you use your faith to water that seed, is by putting it into application, doing things that are practical, in the faith that they will assist you in the thing that you want to see, right? So planting seeds sometimes is literally quite practical, right? You will hear people tell stories, like when they tell their success stories, they'll say like, I used to wake up every day in the morning and I would go out and I'd go do 1 2 3 and I'd go help people for free and I'd do this and I'd do that, and I didn't actually have like the guarantee that I was gonna get rewarded for putting in that type of work or making that sacrifice, but I had faith that that was going to assist me in fulfilling my dream, that maybe in being out in the world, that I would meet the right person that would connect me to the people that I need to make my dream come to pass. So it doesn't really matter what planting that seed looks like. It's going to be different for all of us. But you do need to plant a seed for your dream, And it goes against everything that our culture teaches us currently, which is so dangerous because young people are being deceived into believing that you can achieve success from your couch. You can achieve success from your home. You can achieve success within the confines of depression and throwing a pity party and feeling like, the world owes you something. The world convinces you that you will achieve your dream from sitting in entitlement. If that were the case, David wouldn't have needed to go out in the field. David wouldn't have even needed to lift up his sling to defeat Goliath. He could have just stood in front of Goliath and looked at him, and said, what? And just been like, and then Goliath should have just fallen to the ground in fear of David, Technically, Goliath should have been able to recognize this is actually a king that's been anointed by a prophet, So I need to watch myself. That's not what happened. Even on that day, David needed to put in the work to defeat Goliath. So even in accomplishing the dream, you are going to need to put in the work that is required for it to come to pass. It's not going to find you sitting on your couch. I guarantee you, nobody is coming to DM you that's going to try to plug you. Nobody is coming to your rescue. Nobody is going to discover you on the internet accidentally when you've done nothing to position yourself as someone that has something to offer. You need to have something to offer. If you feel like you have a dream, you're going to have to offer something in exchange. People are looking for something. And so what David had to offer on that day was a sling and a stone. And that's the thing that God used to defeat Goliath. But if he had said, I don't know, I've just been chilling at home, waiting to be ordained and have the crown put on my head, then nothing would have happened. He still needed to remain a shepherd boy and work on his craft, so that when that day came, he would have the confidence and the skill and the excellence required, the quality in even knowing how to sling that thing. The quality was needed. He needed to be in the right place at the right time, and he needed to have a skill that he is excellent in. And he needed to have something in his hand. He needed something in his hand. So you need to have something in your hand. You need to have something to offer your dream. That is the seed that you actually plant. And then you use your faith to water that seed. In doing the things that you are doing, and then attaching the belief that these things are taking me somewhere. These things are going to bring me to the place where I believe that I'm going. You speak over that seed. You must speak over it. You must declare. So in doing the things that you are doing, you are also maintaining an attitude of positivity, of knowing that you are positioning yourself to be discovered on the day where you must be found in the ring with Goliath. So it's important, the attitude that we have, right, while we are in the field, it matters. It matters that you get to the field faithfully and you manage the field well. All of these things, they matter. And then the faith, you need the faith. While you are in the field, you still need to believe that that day when you were anointed king, that wasn't a mistake, that you were actually anointed, that you were given that dream, and that dream is going to come to pass. If David got anointed and didn't believe that he would actually be ordained king one day, it never would have happened, because a dream needs your faith to actually birth it into reality. If you are given the dream, but you don't believe in the dream, and then you go a step further by planting then the seeds, doing the things that you need to do to assist that dream, facilitate the dream into coming to pass, nothing happens. And you need a good attitude to keep you consistent, right? So you need three things. You need faith to believe in the dream. And then you need a skill. You need practical application. Put it in practice. You need to do the things that align you with that dream. And then you need the attitude. That's where the hard work, the resilience, getting up in the morning when you don't feel like it, not giving up when you feel like you should give up, failing and then trying again anyway. That's where the attitude comes in. So you need those three things to get you to your dream. And that's like, we don't want to hear that chat. We want to feel like you get to have a sucky attitude. You get to just like be spoiled and entitled and not have like, not try, and just sit on your couch and believe that you're going to be another Uncle Waffles who's just going to accidentally get discovered someday. If she can do it, I can do it. It can happen to me too. We don't want to hear that we have to partner up with whatever our dream is. We don't want to hear it. But we have to, guys. We have to put in the work. We have to put in the work, and then you need to keep up the faith. You need to have the faith, and you need to keep up your attitude. Read the books that you need to read. Read self-help books. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Get into a church. But you need to make sure that you keep up the good work. You need to not be weary in well-doing. That's what the Bible says. You need to not get tired in doing well, in doing the things that you know are going to contribute to your tomorrow, in the faith that you are going somewhere. Even though you can't see it today, even though you don't know how it's going to happen, but you need to believe it. You need to speak over it. So you need to keep a good attitude, even if it means getting around certain people, like avoiding the Debbie Downers, avoid the people that just want to report the bad reports. They don't want to tell you everything that's happening in the news. They don't want to tell you how bad our economy is. They don't want to tell you, stay away from people that are going to discourage you. People that are going to just drag down this good attitude that I'm speaking about that you need to have. You need to have a good attitude. It's so important. And I think we'll discuss that in our next video. We'll discuss the attitude element. I think in this video, I covered practical work. In the next video, we can talk about the attitude and what that looks like. So yeah, guys, I feel good about what I shared today. I didn't know which direction I was going in when I started recording this clip. I actually had planned on talking about something else, but God is faithful. He keeps showing up, and I really do believe that this is the word for someone. I really do believe, guys, that the things that we are talking about are part of the solution to your problem. You need to have this information so that you know what you need to do to get to where you need to go. Because sometimes we are just perishing because of a lack of knowledge, So that's what I'm hoping that these videos will do, is to kind of just give you a framework of a place where you can begin, even if it's just beginning with your heart, beginning with your attitude, beginning with, doing the inner work in yourself to position yourself in the right way. So yeah, I think today the essence of this video has really covered practical application of faith, what that looks like in a day-to-day, and even what I touched on in the beginning, the reality of the discouragement and the underwhelmment. I don't know if that's a word, but just feeling like one star, reality sucks, it's in acknowledging our reality and being vulnerable enough to say, yeah, it sucks. Let's not get on social media and pretend like we're having a good time, guys. Let's not pretend like you're looking forward to washing those dishes, like you're looking forward to waking up early in the morning to go do a job that you barely like. You know what I mean? Let's first be real. In being real, can we only find freedom in then, figuring out what we can do next. In having acknowledged this truth, what can I do to then make sure that this truth doesn't get in the way of me getting to where I need to go? So in everything that we discuss, I think an underlying theme that exists is learning how to have emotional intelligence, learning how to manage ourselves, right? Because it's going to be very difficult for you to start thinking about what you need to do to assist your dream if you haven't even acknowledged the elephants in the room, which is that you are very much underwhelmed and discouraged by reality, So that's why I started there, to say your feelings are valid. The way that you're feeling is perfectly normal for someone that has a dream. And this is even why you may feel the way that you feel. It's perfectly normal to be discouraged and even frustrated at the fact that the dream that you have looks nothing like the reality you're living in, So we have to always start there. We have to start by being real, by being vulnerable, by telling the truth, in telling the truth, then we are set free and we are able to have the space and the room to then discuss, like, okay, so if this is true and I've acknowledged this truth, right, and it's no longer holding me captive, what then can I do to set myself up for success? So even though this one thing is true, which is that, reality, like real life, daily routine, doesn't feel like it's really assisting you in living this big, extravagant life that you feel like you are supposed to be working towards, But then we need to discuss, like, okay, although that is true, right? Although those feelings are valid, how do I then show up well? And how do I show up with a spirit of excellence within this daily routine that we're discussing, because we can't be governed by our emotions. We can't be people that are governed by our feelings. It would be wrong for me to go on this whole rant, the whole video, about how much daily routine sucks. It's like, okay, yeah, it sucks. Okay, we've dealt with that. We've put that aside. Shelve it, right? You need to acknowledge your feelings. It also doesn't help to deny them because it doesn't make them go away, right? There's power in acknowledging your feelings. Acknowledge them, but then you need to shelve them and not allow them to dictate your reality, right? Don't allow your feelings to be the thing that causes you to sit on your couch and feel sorry for yourself, You can acknowledge that, yeah, I'm in a difficult period of my life. It's a little bit tricky. I'm not sure where I'm going. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? Like, there can be that place of vulnerability. But then, after all of that, then it's like, okay, but what can I do right now to assist myself? What can I do right now to show up as best I can with the cards that have been dealt currently? So that's what this video has been about. It's like, how can you show up? I'm posing the question to you. How can you show up well in the daily routine that you've been given? What are the things that you can put in place to make sure that you are using your 24 hours effectively so that your tomorrow doesn't catch you by surprise, so that your dream doesn't land in your lap and you're shocked and unprepared? How can you start preparing yourself for this dream and becoming the best version for yourself that will be able to carry it and see it through? So that's what today's video has been about. In the next one, I think we will go on to discuss the elements of attitude. And then in the third video, we'll then discuss the elements of faith. Like, in doing all of the things we need to do and keeping the right attitude, how do we then use faith as the thing that then empowers the things that we are doing to propel us forward? Because it doesn't help you're doing things, but you don't know why. You are doing them in vain. You need to have the faith that goes along with the action to say, this is why I'm doing the thing that I'm doing, because I actually believe that that is where I'm going. So those three things go together: faith, action, attitude. So yeah. Yeah, guys, enjoy your week and I'll see you in the next one. God bless. If you're listening to this means you made it until the end. Congratulations, you're a commenter. I like it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share with your friends. I'll see you in the next one.